Today's Friday, and I get to make some videos today. Woo! Yeah! Alright. Now, today, what we're going to talk about for the 50th episode of Sex Talk. Can't say Monday Night Raw because I can get into a lot of trouble. So, it's going to be Sex Talk 101, episode 50. Now, what can we talk about for the 50th episode of Sex Talk? Well, I see I've been watching Alpha Male Strategies videos, good YouTube content creator, but I can't help that I'm going to have to debunk some of these claims him and 7 other YouTubers have made in their videos that have become quite controversial here on YouTube. And that is, I'm going to put at the top for the main title, how photos can tell if you're hot or not, and the calls. Because that's 2 things here I never talked about on my channels, is how you can tell if you got a good photo or bad photo, and how photos can lead to rejection. But I'm going to save the best for last. I'm going to talk about the photos last. What I want to talk about and get off my chest is this phone call, text message bullshit that Alpha Male Strategies likes to harshly, or should I say, he likes to heavily live by this principle, and a lot of guys are trying to follow his advice when it comes to that, and I'm here to kind of like, I don't want to say it's a debunked video, because in order for it to become a debunked video, he has to make a video response to debunk my claims, and then I make a second video, and then it goes back and forth. So this is more of a video to kind of like get you guys on the right track. Now, he claims in his videos that you should never delete a woman's cell phone number because you may never know when she might call. Well, I got some good news and I got some bad news, and I got more bad news than I have good news. The good news is when you first meet a woman, it only takes 30 to 60 seconds for the woman to determine if she finds you physically or sexually attractive or not. Even if a woman give you her phone number, it's going to go in the category of Alan Roger Curry. That means that just because you get a woman's house number or cell phone number, that doesn't guarantee that she's going to call you back. See, 99.999% of the time, a woman, it doesn't matter if the woman's high class, middle class, low class, doesn't matter if the woman's black, white, Latino, Asian, doesn't matter if she's foreign, doesn't matter if she's mixed, doesn't matter if the woman is from the ages of 18 to 29. 99.99% of the time, a woman will give you her phone number and will give it to 7 other men. And when she gives it to 7 other men, she's only going to call back 1 person out of the 7 guys that she gave her phone number to. And this can go on for 3 months. This can go on for 6 months, 9 months. A year can go by. There are some cases where it's not until 2 to 4 years later that that girl might call. And whenever you don't get a phone call in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 weeks, and you scratch your head and it's 6 months later, 7, 8, 9, 10 months later, that's a nice way of the girl trying to communicate to you she don't find you physically, sexually attractive. You don't get her pussy wet. You don't make her say, oh God, I like him. You don't make her say anything. And these guys are trying to convince you that all you have to do is stay in your house or stay in your apartment, and she gonna call or text message the hell out of your cell phone 6 months later or a year later. Now, that's called wishful thinking, because in a real life scenario, you got to be going somewhere for you to get a phone call or a text message. I'm serious. You got to be at the movie theater watching a movie for 2 hours or close to it. You have to be getting your car washed. You have to be going to work or coming from work. Or how about this one? You step out the shower when you just got done going to the gym. You have to be seen You can't just sit there like in those romantic comedies and movies and sit by the fucking phone or look at your cell phone and count how many times or count how many hours in one day. I know she gonna call. I know she gonna call. I know she gonna call. When you do that, that's desperation. And they'll sit back and they'll start laughing their ass off like, the Alpha Male Strategy said they're gonna call me. No. Alpha Male Strategy said that they have sex with a lot of men and that at some point, if they still like you, they'll call you. Now, let me give you some scenarios on how fucked up that is. Scenario number one. Let's say, hypothetically, you do get her to call you back or text message you. Well, in a real life scenario, that might take a week. That might take 7 days before she thinks about picking the phone up and calling you. And then if she does give you a conversation, it's going to be a very short and brief conversation. It might last maybe 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. And before you can even say, oh, I'm glad that you called, I was waiting for your call. As soon as you communicate to her, I was waiting for your call, guess what her facial expression has? Oh my God, he is a thirsty son of a bitch. He is thirsty for the ass. And then that makes her right there not want to call you no more. Because you communicated to her, you've been waiting all day for her call. She was expecting you to say, well, I just came from the movies. Or I just came from the gym. Or I just got off of work. Or I just came from the mall. She expecting to hear those answers. Not, I was waiting for your phone call. Because what you're telling her is you have a low value. You have low sexual value. That communicates to her you have no value. You don't have, basically what you're saying to her is she is your only option. And since you communicated to her that you're her only option, guess what that communicates to her? She now has all the power and all the control now because you just told her she is the only woman for you. And she can now play mind games with you or make you take a shit test or a combination of the two of them if she wanted to. So now she can go on 5 dates and 5 days with 5 guys while you sit there for 5 days wondering when she gonna call and text message me. Scenario number 2. You think just because you have a phone number that somehow entitle you that, hey, I know I'm taking her out to lunch, I'm taking her out to dinner. Well, you get all dressed up with nowhere to go. Now you went somewhere, but she ain't with you. And then you tell that to a friend, and a friend start laughing at you because you can't see the signs. She give every man her phone number. She text message every guy. And you see, when a girl gives one guy her phone number and then calls and text message him all the time, that guy might be in the friend zone. And that guy might be lucky that he gets phone calls and text messages. Then you have the guy who just get a girl's phone number and she calls with a restricted ID. You can't call restricted IDs. You cannot text message restricted IDs. What that says when a girl gives you a restricted ID, you are not even worth my time. You got to show me that you are worth my time. So that means a lot of you are going to have to go to the gym and start putting your time and going into the gym. For her to go, okay, I'll call him because he trying to get bigger, stronger, and faster and athletic. He trying to play basketball and football, so I got to take him serious. Or he's getting his driver's license, he's getting a car, so I got to take him serious. See, today women have it where I got to have a reason to take you serious. If I can't take you serious, then this ain't going nowhere. Even if you go to work and you met a girl at work and she gave you the phone number, there is still no 100% guarantee that she's going to call you back or text message you. It could be 5 weeks later, and for 5 weeks you see her at work, and you'll say some shit like, well, how come you ain't call? I went to the movie theater and bought us movie tickets. How come you ain't call? Well, in one respect, she never asked you to go to the movie theater and buy 2 movie tickets. And in the other respect, that when you do confront her, and this is what gets you in the H&R's office, you follow her everywhere at work trying to get an answer, and she don't want to give you an answer. She don't want to explain why she did it. So another man has to walk up to you and explain to you what I just explained in the first half of this video. She don't find you physically, sexually attractive. She don't like you. And it's very embarrassing and humiliating to be under the belief that a girl actually likes you, and then all of a sudden the reality kicks in like a bitch, and you find out she don't like you. Now, there are cases where a girl play you for about 2 years, 3, 4, 5 years. You know, all the girlfriends is laughing at your ass. They think this shit is funny. You know, she go to her first job, she go to her second job, and she clown the shit out of you. And everybody's laughing, making fun of you. Even if they never saw you or never met you before, they're laughing the fuck out of you. Because it's Comedy Central. It ain't until you run up to a rich guy and that rich guy has to tell you the same thing I'm telling you in this video. It ain't until the rich guy say maybe you need to show her that you're serious for her to take you serious. Remember when Christopher Evans first became Captain America and a lot of people went ape shit? Like they went, get the fuck out of here. I can't see Christopher Evans as Steve Rogers Captain America. And everyone was afraid that was going to make the Captain America movie suck. And then Christopher Evans said, I'm going to show you guys that I can become the character. And when we first saw the movie, he put on 20 pounds of muscle. And he was 220 pounds. And by the time we saw him in the second Avenger film, or should I say the first Avenger film, he put on 10 more pounds and was 230. By the time we saw Winter Soldier, he was almost 240 pounds of muscle. And he was serious in the second film of Captain America, and he convinced us he was the character. Same thing with Robert Downey Jr. A lot of people didn't think he could pull off Tony Stark Iron Man. People was like, man, this guy ain't serious, man. And he showed that he could play a serious character in a serious movie. And to this day, can't nobody picture Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. If you even dare go to the street and say, I think this other actor can play Tony Stark, people will look at you like, hell no. Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. Christopher Evans is Steve Rogers Captain America. How about this one? A lot of people laughed their ass off when they found out Ben Affleck was going to become Batman. A lot of people said, oh, hell no, he can't play no Batman. He can't pull off no Bruce Wayne. He transformed into Bruce Wayne. And then he put on the 30 pounds of muscle and he looked like Batman that if you went into a dark alley, he would beat the shit out of you. A lot of people said the same thing about the actor who's playing Shazam. A lot of people say, well, he's a comedy actor. He can't fucking do no action. And he convinced us that he could put on 30 pounds of muscle. How about Chris Pratt? You've seen him in Jurassic World, Lost World of, both the Jurassic Park films, but they call them Jurassic World. And you see him in Guardians of Galaxy. He was a comedian, and people say, well, he's fat, he's goofy, he's clumsy. He can't play no superhero. And he put on 30 pounds of muscle and turned into Peter Quill Star-Lord. And to this day, you got people trying to imitate his dance moves from those Guardian of Galaxy movies. So sometimes you might have to show a woman more than you can tell a woman. Sometimes a woman want to see how serious you are. Sometimes a woman want to see, are you really serious about pursuing me? Now, that could be 2 years, that could be 3 years, that could be 5 years later. So when these guys keep trying to tell you, oh, just sit by the phone, she gonna call you. If a woman is having sex with multiple men, if a woman is going to the nightclub, and I already made a video about that 24 hours ago, learn how to read women at work, well, what makes you think she's going to pick her phone up and she's at a nightclub on a Friday or Saturday night? What makes you think she going to want to pick her phone up Sunday morning when she headed for church? What makes you think she going to pick her phone up Monday morning and she just got her ass back to work? What makes you think she going to pick the phone up on a Tuesday or on a Wednesday back at work? She might pick it up Wednesday night. She might pick it up Thursday, and that's not even a guarantee. And a lot of these men go 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months thinking somewhere she got a call, somewhere she got a text. And guess what? If the woman find out you got a car and all her girlfriends text message her, oh, he got a car. That's a reason for her to pick the phone up and go, is it true I heard you got a car? Or is it true I heard you did a music video with Lil Wayne and you trying to get your own rap career start? It has to be something to the point where the girl go, okay, now I gotta really talk to him. Now I gotta really give him a shot. Or is it true I heard you moved out your mom's house and you got you a little house or a little apartment? It has to be some situation that involves you actually doing something. See, for you to sit there and actually try to go a whole year waiting for a phone call is stupid. And the girl's not going to call you or text message you. Even if the girl shows signs that she like you, she's still not going to do it. And you're going to waste a lot of time and energy because these guys told you a lie. It's a lie. You have to be seen in the real world. You have to be going to the mall or the movie theater or the park. You got to be going to the gym. You got to be going to work or coming from work. You got to be doing something for some girl to see you in public. And chances is when you go to a certain part of town, the girl has girlfriends. She got like at least 5 to 6 girlfriends at both jobs, and there's a chance you might accidentally hit on one of her girlfriends and don't realize them two are best friends. But you're not going to know that because you're going to think it's a random girl. You're not going to think, oh, these two are friends. You're not going to know that until she introduced you to the same girl that rejected you from 5 years ago. That's when that's when she's going to find out you got a car. That's when she's going to find out you have a house or an apartment. That's when she's going to find out you went to the gym and you put on 15, 20 pounds of muscle, that you self-improved yourself. That's when she's going to find out that you've gotten serious. And then when the girlfriend's not around, then she tried to slip you her phone number and try to get you to call and text message. And at that point, you may not want the girl no more. You might want her and you might not. It's 50-50. Now, let's get on these damn photos. Now, a lot of men who put photos up on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram be thinking that because they put photos up on dating websites, they actually think that that's going to get them some attention. Well, I'm going to let you on a little secret. You know what happens when a girl see you in a photo by yourself? It communicates to her that you don't have no options. Yeah, I know that just blow your fucking mind. Hey, when my mom told it to me 10 years ago, it blew my fucking mind. My mom told me that if you take too many photos by yourself, it communicates to the woman not only that you have no sexual V market, no value, it also means you don't have no options. And that the girl gonna say, why you all, and it's how you can tell. When a girl say, why you always by yourself in photos? And if you can't answer that question in 30 to 60 seconds, she got you. Trust me, it happened to me 2 or 3 times. And I've seen other guys become victims of it. How about this one? If you got 5 guys in the photo, that communicates to her you are having a lot of fun. If you go out and you start playing pool, to her, you're very sociable. That means you know how to carry conversation. You know how to talk to people. All of this in a photo. But if she go, how come there ain't no other girls in the photos? How come you don't have no girls in your photos? You know what that's going to communicate? I'm going to tell you the secret because the pickup artists and the dating coaches are never going to tell you this shit. It's going to communicate to her you don't have a girlfriend. You're not in a relationship. You don't know how to talk to girls. You don't know how to get women's attention. That's what that's going to communicate when she asks you in all your photos, how come you don't have no girls in none of your photos? And you can't say shit like, well, I went to Hooters and I took pictures with Hooter girls. Because if you tell that to a girl, 9 times out of 10, they're going to say, well, those are whores. Those are sluts. And that's their job. I'm talking about girls that are like me. And if you can't answer that in 30 to 60 seconds, she got your ass. Trust me. All the stuff that I'm telling you, it's been done to me a total of 4 to 5 times. The photos, that's happened to me like 5 times. Actually waiting for someone's phone call, I've only done that shit 1 fucking time. And I learned my lesson. My mom told me, don't ever wait for a woman's phone call or text message. Because if she like you, she will let you know if she like you. And if she don't like you, she will let you know that she don't like you. And you don't have to actually talk to her in person to get the answer. A lot of time you guys want women to just give you the answer why you don't like me. If she not calling you and she not text messaging you, you already got your answer. Now, yeah, it's kind of fucked up that you got the answer in the worst possible way, but what that teaches you to be more serious. The next time you see a female like that, or you see her again, and she see that you're doing good financially, economic wise, you can always say, well, you already have my number, and I don't give my number out once I give it to you. And the girl might have got a new cell phone, because it happens. Girls have 2 cell phones. That's another thing I'm going to bring in this video before I end it. Never, ever assume that a woman just has 1 cell phone. Guys who be talking about she just got 1 phone number, 1 cell phone, they're very stupid and delusional. That's wishful thinking. A girl always has 2 cell phones. Okay? When you go to work, you just see 1 cell phone. But what happens if that cell phone gets broken? What happens if some water or some coffee get on that cell phone? Yeah, she has an emergency cell phone that she don't ever take out the house. And only on emergencies, she might have to use a cell phone. A lot of times, she might borrow her cousin's or her girlfriend's cell phone. So never think that just because you see a girl with 1 cell phone that's her only phone number. A girl has 2 cell phones for obvious reasons. If she's cheating on her boyfriend, she has a second cell phone. Because she knows if she leaves her cell phone on the dresser, on the counter, on the table, the boyfriend might pick up the cell phone and start running through phone numbers and text messages and find out his woman is cheating on his ass. So to make sure he don't find that shit out, she has a second cell phone. She's not going to call the house phone where he can listen to the conversation, because that would be fucking stupid. So most likely she is going to have a second cell phone and never reveal to no one other than her girlfriends she has a second cell phone. And if you ask the girlfriends, they will lie and say, nah, she only has 1 phone. They know she has more than 1 phone, but they're never going to tell you guys that. They're going to lie to you guys and tell you guys, oh, no, you just heard a rumor. Oh, I don't know where you got that from. That's just a legend. That's not true. They'll bullshit your ass. And most of the time, most men fall for it, and it ain't until 2 or 3 years later that another guy comes in the conversation and say, she actually has 2 cell phones. I know, because I actually smashed her 2 years ago. But by the time you get that information, it's too little too late. Now, photos. What's the difference between a good photo and a bad photo? A good photo, you got to show that you're having a lot of fun. Even if it looks like you're not having fun when you take the photo, you still gotta learn how to have fun so women can stop picking on you about not having fun. You know why women pick fun of or make fun of guys that get angry and pissed off like me? Because they think we don't know how to have no fun. They think we don't know how to have no excitement. They think we take everything too damn serious. And sometimes I do take some shit too fucking serious. But if you have fun in your photos, women will stop fucking with you. That's a good photo. A bad photo is you're always in the photos by your damn self, and that indicates to the girl he ain't sociable, he doesn't know how to have fun, don't know girls talk to him, and he don't know how to talk to girls. That's what a bad photo indicate. I'm telling you this in the video because pickup artists and dating coaches, they're never going to tell you this information. They're just going to charge you a bunch of money and you'll never learn this information. By the time you learn this information, it'll be too little too late. It'll be 10 years later, 15 years later, it'll be 20 years later. And you won't know what a good photo is or a bad photo is until you go show them to the girls at the gym or at the workplace. And when the girls start being very critical of your photos, when the girl says, stop taking a picture in the bathroom with the light on, it's not that she's trying to be fucked up or be very criticizing. It's her trying to explain to you, the difference between good photos and bad photos. And she's trying to tell you, if I don't like the photos, none of the women outside the workplace are going to like the photos. That's what she's trying to communicate to you. Instead of going, okay, this bitch clowned the shit out of my photos, first hear her explanation on why she think your photos are terrible and what can you do to improve your photos. That might take you 2 years, that might take you 3 years, that might take you 5 years to improve your photos. And when you do, you don't have to necessarily go back to the females. If they have a Facebook, they'll see your photos. You got a Twitter or Instagram, they'll see your photos. And sometimes you can make some very damn good photos and they don't get seen until 5 to 10 years later. And usually there'll be other women that will have seen your photos that will comment on your photos. Not everyone's gonna shit on your photos. Just, the ones that you try to get the attention of, they might shit on your photos. Okay? Now, back to the phone calls. If for some reason that you're not getting a phone call or a text message, and it's been 3 months, it's been 6 months, it's been 9 months, it's been a year, it's been 2 years, it's been 3 years that you ain't got no phone call and no text message, that's why you don't listen to people like Alpha Male Strategies when he says, oh, she's going to call you back. Because if she's having sex with multiple men, she ain't never calling you back. You know when a woman call you back in that type of situation? When it's 10 years later, when it's 15 years later, 20 years later, that's when she gonna call you. By then, she would have had 7 cell phones with 7 different numbers under the same name. And then if she's married with kids and she run across you on Facebook, yeah, she'll give you the phone number. And if she's divorced, that's when it's gonna come out why you never had a chance with the girl. And you see, at that point, we call that leftovers. We call that damaged goods. Leftover homemade apple pie that other guys have had 10 times and you never even had not even one slice of apple pie. That means the women you mess with in high school and college did the same shit. And the women at the gym and at the workplace gonna do the same shit too. So don't be waiting for a woman's phone call or text message if it's 3 months later, 6 months later, 9 months later, a year later. If you wait 2 to 3 years later, a lot of guys in the hood gonna be laughing at you because they're gonna say, bro, she don't like your ass. She don't find you physically, sexually attractive. You already got your answer. And by the time she find out that you got a car, pay attention to what age range that she is. If she's like in her 30s and she trying to holler at you and it's 10 years later, tell that bitch to get the stepping. If it's 15 years later and she's 35 years old, tell that bitch to get the stepping. If it's 20 years later and she's 40 years old, tell that bitch to kick rocks. Because if a woman come back to you 10 years later, 15, 20 years later, that is a waste of your time and energy. And that whole entire time that she never tried to find out what you were doing, she never liked you. And the only reason why she coming back to you 10, 15, 20 years later is because she fucked up. She got divorced, she got 2 or 3 kids, don't nobody want to be a stepdad to her kids, and when she come to you with all her problems. She come to you with her bullshit. But when you came to her with your bullshit, it was get the hell away from me. Now that she's older, that's when she want to give you the phone number. Now do you understand why I say don't listen to people like Alpha Male Strategies? Because even though he said that the girl might call, it has to come in a scenario. You have to actually be out in public doing something. You can't stay inside the house or your apartment waiting for a phone call because you're going to go insane. You know what the reason of insanity is? Doing the same thing over and over and over again, trying to expect the same result or new results, and you don't get anything by doing the same thing. You got to be seen. You got to go somewhere. Go to the gym. Go to the mall. Go to the movie theater. Get you a second job. And you might run into the girl. I already told you in my last video, if you go to the nightclub a lot, the same girl that rejects your ass at work, It's the same hoe you're going to see at the nightclub on Friday and Saturday nights, and that's going to prove my point to you why the girl don't like you in the first place. You're never going to get the answer by trying to get her to tell it to you. You're going to have to go out in public and have fun, and then you run into her. And when she see you talking to other girls, she can't get jealous, because if she never liked you, what's to get jealous of? The only time she'll get jealous is if her girlfriend like you and she has to be around you when she don't like you. Then she's going to get upset. And that very rarely happens unless you do what I said in that last video. So this video is getting a little bit too long. Until next time, peace.